Good evening, my friends, and let me ask you something that might shock you. What if I told you that next Friday morning you could wake up to 60-degree weather in Columbus, Ohio? I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but here's an even bigger question. Are you ready to witness one of the most extraordinary weather transformations we've seen in our lifetimes?
In just 2 minutes, I'll walk you through exactly how this remarkable change will unfold day by day. And at the 8-minute mark, I'll share the incredible temperature records that are about to be rewritten. But here's what will truly touch your heart. At exactly 15 minutes, I'll share some beautiful wisdom from Scripture about seasons and God's perfect timing that connects to everything we're experiencing. Right now, while many folks are bundled up thinking winter is here to stay, Mother Nature is quietly preparing to surprise us with changes that will have us talking for years to come. Welcome, dear friends, to what promises to be the most fascinating weather conversation we've had together, as we explore how multiple weather systems are working together in ways that will leave you amazed. You know, in all my years of watching weather patterns, today marks the beginning of something truly special. A chain reaction of events that shows just how incredible our atmosphere can be. Let me start by telling you about the remarkable changes already beginning across our great nation, with severe weather and tornado possibilities developing in the southeast and west coast. Now, I've been studying the latest computer models, and I have to tell you, what they're showing is both fascinating and unprecedented for this time of year. Starting today, we're seeing the opening chapter of a much more active weather period that will keep us on our toes throughout the entire week ahead. Think of this weekend, my friends, as nature's way of giving us a gentle preview before she reveals her most surprising winter personality yet. This weekend will bring what meteorologists call a sneaky snow and ice threat to parts of the Midwest and Great Lakes. And believe me, that word sneaky is quite appropriate. For those of you in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, we're looking at light to moderate snow and freezing rain that could make travel a bit challenging, especially where temperatures dip below freezing. But here's where our story becomes absolutely captivating. Later this week, the entire weather pattern will flip like someone switched the script completely. A much more powerful storm system is getting ready to develop, friends, signaling winter's return to creating those big, impactful weather events we remember from years past. This developing system has the potential to bring widespread snow, ice, strong winds, and even severe weather to most of our beautiful country, making it quite possibly the most significant storm we've seen this year. Now, while all this dramatic weather is setting up, here's the plot twist that makes this story absolutely remarkable. A massive heat wave is about to surge northward across much of America. This is going to create temperature contrast across our nation that are simply extraordinary. And this clash between warm and cold air will provide the energy that fuels everything we're about to experience. The battle between these opposing air masses, my dear friends, demonstrates exactly why this stretch of weather promises to be far more active and volatile than anything we've seen recently. Let me explain the fascinating science behind this transformation by looking at our jet stream, which is like the highway in the sky that controls where our weather systems travel. Right now, our jet stream is flowing from the northwest across the Great Lakes, Midwest, and Northeast, bringing plenty of cold air into those regions where many of you live. But as we move into early next week, this jet stream is going to undergo a dramatic shift that will completely change the weather map across our entire continent. The high-pressure ridge building across the southern plains is going to strengthen significantly, allowing unusually warm air to pour across the Great Plains and East Coast. Some areas are going to approach temperatures that could break records, creating the kind of January warmth that makes you think spring has arrived 3 months early. At the same time, a major storm system will be organizing along the West Coast, setting up what meteorologists call a perfect storm of contrasting conditions. Friends living in Denver, Colorado Springs, Salt Lake City, and Boise will be among the first to experience the leading edge of this remarkable weather transformation. Those of you in Portland, Seattle, San Francisco, and Los Angeles will witness the developing storm system that will eventually affect weather patterns from coast to coast. Now, let me share with you the temperature story that honestly has me shaking my head in amazement at what Mother Nature has planned for us. Today's temperature shows some modest warmth in the Great Plains, with our friends in Nebraska and Kansas enjoying readings in the 50s and 60s, while the southeast remains a bit cooler than usual. By Sunday and Monday, the warming trend really kicks into gear, with our friends in Texas and Oklahoma beginning to feel that surge of unusually mild air. Now, get ready for this. The Dallas-Fort Worth area will be approaching 80 degrees by Monday, and I know that sounds absolutely unbelievable for January. Tuesday and Wednesday bring this warming trend right into the heart of the Midwest, with areas near Chicago, can you believe this, approaching 55 to 60 degrees. Thursday shapes up to be one of the warmest days of this entire incredible week, with Missouri temperatures climbing into the 60s and Kansas City reaching near 67 degrees. But Friday, my dear friends, Friday is when this warm spell reaches its absolute peak, with widespread record-breaking temperatures possible across multiple states. Cities like Indianapolis, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, and Nashville all have excellent chances of shattering their daily temperature records for January 10th. Here's what really amazes me about Friday morning. Many of you could wake up to 60-degree temperatures across Kentucky and Ohio, which is just extraordinary for mid-January. Columbus, Ohio might experience a morning low temperature of 60 degrees on Friday, which represents the kind of warmth we typically don't see until April or May. These will rank among the warmest temperatures ever recorded during the first full week of January across the entire Ohio Valley region. Record-breaking heat becomes very likely near Houston, Texas, as the southern plains experience temperatures that belong more in late spring than the middle of winter. The morning temperatures across Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee will challenge or break records that have stood for decades, possibly since weather recording began. We're talking about wake-up temperatures Friday morning that many locations have simply never experienced for this date in recorded history. This represents one of the most significant January warm spells on record for the Ohio Valley and all surrounding regions. Now let me walk you through the remarkable sequence of weather events that will accompany this incredible temperature story. Today brings our first act in this weather drama, with severe weather risks developing across the southeast, including possibilities for isolated tornadoes. Our friends in Alabama, Georgia, and Florida should keep an eye on conditions this afternoon for damaging winds, hail, and possible brief tornado development. The area around Tallahassee, Gainesville, Jacksonville, and Pensacola represents the corridor where tornado development seems most likely between 3 and 6 p.m. today. Tonight and into tomorrow morning, those of you in the northeast will see some lingering snow showers, while the West Coast experiences significant storm activity. California faces some substantial rainfall concerns, with mountain snow at higher elevations and even a slight severe weather threat near the San Francisco Bay Area. Sunday introduces one of the most interesting parts of this entire weather sequence, with a storm system forming very rapidly over Minnesota. This system will develop quite quickly on Sunday, creating the potential for heavy snow squalls across central and northern Minnesota that could surprise folks. Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan will also experience these rapidly developing snow squalls that can create sudden visibility problems on the roadways. The southern edge of this weather brings a concerning development: freezing rain and freezing drizzle that could create some ice accumulation. Minneapolis, Milwaukee, and potentially areas as far south as Chicago could see ice accumulation that makes driving quite treacherous. This ice threat develops during the daytime hours on Sunday, mainly from noon until about 8 p.m. So please use extra caution if you need to travel. The heavy snow portion of this system continues basically all day long, from noon until approximately 10 p.m. across the upper Midwest. Overnight Sunday into Monday, areas of light snow will move through Michigan's Upper Peninsula before eventually reaching portions of the Northeast. While we're not talking about massive snow accumulations, the quick-hitting nature of this storm creates heavy snow rates that could cause sudden visibility issues. Most areas can expect widespread 1 to 3 inches of snow across the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, northern Minnesota, and northern Wisconsin. This may not compare to the big snowstorms we remember from years past, but the rapid development makes it particularly challenging for anyone traveling. Sleet accumulation up to about 1/10 of an inch is possible across parts of Wisconsin and Minnesota, adding another layer of complexity to Sunday's weather. The freezing rain threat, while not expected to be severe, will make any untreated road surfaces extremely slippery and hazardous. Minneapolis represents the area most likely to experience freezing rain problems on Sunday, so folks there should pay particular attention to road conditions. Any untreated roadways will become quite hazardous, making Sunday travel across the upper Midwest something to plan carefully. Today's severe weather includes two separate areas of concern, one in the southeast and another along California's coast north of San Francisco. The main concern involves isolated tornado possibilities affecting both California and our southeastern states. Remarkably, we've already seen our first tornado of 2026 occurring near 3 Points, Arizona, just 12 hours into the new year. Today's weather could potentially add to that tornado count in both California and the southeast, showing us how active this year has started. Having tornado action plans ready across these regions is always wise, with multiple ways to receive weather alerts throughout the day. The southeast timing shows what meteorologists call a messy setup overall, but organized thunderstorms could develop around 2, 3, or 4 p.m. across Alabama, Georgia, or Florida. While today's atmospheric setup makes tornado development somewhat challenging, the Tallahassee area represents the main corridor where brief tornadoes could occur. Between 3 and 6 p.m., isolated brief tornadoes could develop, eventually transitioning into a line of storms by 7 to 8 p.m. This storm line will move through central Florida before weakening overnight, leading to much more pleasant conditions across the southeast on Sunday. The West Coast severe weather threat near San Francisco adds an interesting dimension to today's multi-regional weather story. Sacramento, San Jose, Oakland, and surrounding communities should monitor conditions for possible severe thunderstorm development. This shows us how the same atmospheric energy creating problems in the southeast can generate similar concerns on the opposite side of our country. Now let me share with you the deeper significance of this remarkable weather pattern and why it represents something truly extraordinary. This pattern showcases nature's incredible ability to create dramatic contrast that remind us of the awesome power governing our atmosphere every single day. The collision between warm and cold air masses demonstrates the fundamental forces that drive all weather patterns across our beautiful planet. When these opposing air masses meet, they release tremendous energy that shows up as storms, temperature extremes, and rapid weather changes. This week's weather serves as a perfect textbook example of how atmospheric energy constantly seeks balance through these dynamic processes. The heat wave pushing northward carries tropical warmth far beyond its normal boundaries, while winter cold retreats and reorganizes for its return. These temperature contrasts will fuel the development of powerful storm systems that demonstrate nature's remarkable efficiency in redistributing energy across continents. The rapid storm development we're witnessing shows how quickly atmospheric conditions can change when all the right ingredients come together perfectly. Each storm system in this sequence plays a specific role in the larger atmospheric pattern, like individual musicians in a grand orchestra. The jet stream reorganization driving these changes represents one of the fundamental mechanisms by which our entire climate system operates. Upper-level wind patterns guide surface weather systems like a conductor directing musicians, creating harmony and order from what might appear chaotic. This week's pattern demonstrates beautifully how seemingly unrelated weather events across different regions actually connect through atmospheric physics. The warmth building across the eastern United States directly influences storm development along the West Coast through what scientists call teleconnections. These atmospheric linkages show us how weather in one location can impact conditions thousands of miles away in ways that still amaze meteorologists. Modern meteorology allows us to track these connections and understand how global weather patterns influence the conditions right in our own backyards. The precision with which we can now forecast these complex interactions represents one of the most remarkable scientific achievements of our time. Satellite technology and computer modeling give us unprecedented insight into atmospheric behavior and storm development that previous generations could only dream about. This enhanced understanding helps communities prepare for weather events while also helping us appreciate the incredible beauty of atmospheric science. The economic implications of this week's weather touch virtually every aspect of our daily lives, from the food we eat to the energy that heats our homes. Record warm temperatures in January affect heating bills, agricultural planning, and energy consumption patterns across millions of households. Transportation systems must constantly adapt to rapid weather changes, from ice threats in the Midwest to severe weather concerns in the Southeast. Airlines carefully monitor storm development, often adjusting flight schedules days in advance to accommodate changing weather conditions. Shipping and logistics industries track weather patterns continuously to optimize routes and ensure safe transportation of goods across the country. Agricultural interests watch temperature swings very carefully, as unexpected warmth can significantly affect crop dormancy and spring planting plans. Energy companies prepare for fluctuating demand as heating needs decrease dramatically during warm periods and spike during cold snaps. Tourism and recreation industries adapt constantly to changing conditions, with some areas experiencing spring-like weather while others face winter challenges. Retail businesses adjust their inventory and marketing strategies based on weather patterns that significantly influence what consumers want to purchase. Emergency management agencies coordinate preparations for multiple weather threats occurring simultaneously across different regions of our nation. Insurance companies monitor weather patterns very closely due to potential claims from storm damage, ice accumulation, and temperature-related issues. Utility companies prepare their infrastructure for varying demands and potential outages from ice storms, high winds, and severe weather. Construction and outdoor work industries adjust their schedules constantly to take advantage of favorable conditions while avoiding dangerous weather. Public health officials monitor temperature extremes and storm threats that could particularly affect our elderly neighbors and other vulnerable populations. Educational institutions prepare for potential weather-related closures or schedule modifications that affect millions of students and families. The social and psychological impacts of dramatic weather changes affect our communities in ways that touch the heart and bring people together. Sudden warmth in January often boosts spirits and outdoor activity levels, creating unexpected opportunities for recreation and community gathering. Families frequently adjust their weekend plans to take full advantage of record-breaking temperatures for outdoor activities and quality time together. Children and adults alike find wonder in the ability to experience spring-like conditions right in the heart of winter. Gardeners and nature enthusiasts carefully observe how plants and wildlife respond to these unusual but beautiful temperature fluctuations. Weather enthusiasts and storm watchers find tremendous excitement in tracking multiple weather events occurring simultaneously across our great country. Photography enthusiasts capture the remarkable beauty of contrasting weather conditions occurring within very short time periods. Social media platforms buzz with weather observations, temperature readings, and storm reports shared by people from coast to coast. Weather applications and services experience dramatically increased usage as people track these rapidly changing and fascinating conditions. Local television stations often extend their weather coverage to address the numerous viewer questions and concerns about these unusual patterns. Community preparedness typically improves as people become more aware of weather's significant impact on daily life and safety. Here's what I promised to share with you at the 8-minute mark: these incredible temperature records that showcase just how remarkable this pattern truly is. Friday morning could bring wake-up temperatures of 60 degrees across Kentucky and Ohio, representing completely unprecedented warmth for January 10th. These morning minimum temperatures would challenge or break records that have stood for decades across the entire Ohio Valley region. Some locations could experience their warmest January 10th morning temperatures since detailed weather records began being kept. The magnitude of this warm anomaly demonstrates the incredible power of atmospheric pattern changes to create truly extraordinary conditions. Cities from Indianapolis to Cleveland could witness genuine history as they approach or exceed all-time January temperature records. Nashville, Cincinnati, and Louisville join the impressive list of metropolitan areas with excellent potential for record-breaking temperatures. The geographic extent of this warmth stretches across multiple states, affecting millions of Americans simultaneously in ways that will be long remembered. Weather monitoring stations across the region will carefully document these potentially historic temperature readings for future climate studies. Local record books may require updating as this remarkable warm spell reaches its peak intensity across the heartland. The contrast between these warm temperatures and typical January conditions highlights the absolutely extraordinary nature of this weather pattern. Normal January temperatures in these regions typically range from the 20s to the 40s, making 60-degree readings absolutely remarkable by any measure. This temperature meteorological organizations will undoubtedly analyze this event extensively to better understand extreme weather pattern behavior and atmospheric dynamics. Research institutions will study the atmospheric conditions that enabled such dramatic temperature departures from what we consider normal for January. Climate scientists will carefully examine how this event fits into longer-term weather and climate patterns affecting our region. The valuable data collected during this warm spell will contribute to improved understanding of atmospheric dynamics and weather prediction. Advanced computer models will be carefully evaluated based on their ability to accurately predict these extreme temperature conditions. International meteorological organizations will share this data to enhance global weather prediction capabilities for everyone's benefit. This remarkable event demonstrates the critical importance of continuous weather monitoring and comprehensive data collection systems. Future forecasting improvements may well result from the valuable lessons learned during this extraordinary weather pattern. Now, my dear friends, let me address the important preparation aspects that this complex weather pattern requires from all of us. Travel planning becomes absolutely crucial as multiple weather threats develop across different regions at the same time. Those planning travel to or through the upper Midwest should monitor ice and snow conditions very carefully, especially on Sunday. Southeast travelers should stay well informed about severe weather developments and potential tornado threats in their areas. West Coast travelers must prepare adequately for heavy rainfall and potential flooding conditions that could affect their plans. Multiple weather alert sources help ensure you receive adequate warning of changing conditions across all regions you might visit. Vehicle emergency kits should be checked and updated carefully, especially for those traveling through areas expecting ice or snow. Home preparation includes monitoring heating systems closely as these dramatic temperature swings significantly affect energy demands. Outdoor equipment and holiday decorations should be secured well ahead of potential strong winds associated with developing storm systems. Drainage systems around your home should be checked for proper function ahead of any heavy rainfall events that might develop. Emergency supplies should be readily accessible in case power outages occur from ice accumulation or severe weather conditions. Communication plans help families stay connected during weather events that may affect different areas at different times throughout the week. Community resources should be identified for neighbors who may need assistance during challenging weather conditions. Weather alert applications and systems should be properly configured to provide timely warnings for your specific location and travel routes. Flexible scheduling allows for necessary weather-related adjustments to daily routines, appointments, and travel plans. The interconnected nature of these weather events requires awareness of conditions well beyond your immediate local area. Business continuity plans should carefully account for potential weather-related disruptions occurring across multiple regions simultaneously. Educational institutions may need to adjust their schedules based on local weather conditions and important safety considerations. Healthcare facilities prepare diligently for potential increases in weather-related injuries and transportation challenges affecting patient care. Emergency services coordinate carefully across jurisdictions to ensure adequate coverage during multiple weather events. Public transportation systems adjust schedules and routes proactively based on weather conditions and passenger safety requirements. Construction and outdoor work industries monitor weather forecasts very closely to ensure worker safety during changing conditions. Agricultural operations adapt continuously to temperature fluctuations and precipitation patterns that significantly affect seasonal planning. Retail businesses prepare systematically for weather-related changes in customer traffic and purchasing patterns. Tourism destinations adjust their activities and accommodations carefully based on weather conditions and visitor safety concerns. Media organizations expand their weather coverage significantly to address heightened public interest in these unusual atmospheric conditions. Scientific institutions continue their important monitoring and research efforts to better understand complex weather pattern interactions. International collaboration enhances our collective ability to predict and prepare effectively for significant weather events. Technology advancements continuously improve our capacity to track, model, and communicate weather information effectively to the public. Public education about weather patterns helps our communities better understand and respond appropriately to atmospheric changes. Weather awareness promotes safety, preparedness, and genuine appreciation for the natural forces that shape our daily lives. The beauty of meteorological science lies in understanding how seemingly chaotic weather patterns actually follow predictable physical laws. Atmospheric science reveals the elegant complexity underlying weather systems and their fascinating interactions across vast distances. This week's weather demonstrates perfectly how individual storm systems contribute meaningfully to much larger atmospheric patterns. Energy transfer between different scales of atmospheric motion drives the weather phenomena we observe and experience every day. Mathematical equations describe atmospheric behavior with remarkable accuracy, enabling detailed and reliable weather predictions. Computer modeling combines physics, mathematics, and observational data skillfully to simulate future atmospheric conditions. Continuous model improvements enhance our ability to forecast complex weather scenarios, like this week's fascinating pattern. Global observing networks provide the essential data foundation necessary for accurate weather analysis and prediction worldwide. Satellite technology offers completely unprecedented views of atmospheric motion and development on multiple scales. Radar systems detect precipitation and storm structure with incredible detail and excellent temporal resolution. Surface weather stations continuously monitor local conditions that help validate and improve computer model forecasts. Upper air observations reveal the three-dimensional structure of atmospheric patterns driving the surface weather we experience. Ocean temperature and current measurements help scientists understand the important marine influences on atmospheric behavior. Lightning detection networks track electrical activity associated with thunderstorms and severe weather development. Wind profiling systems monitor atmospheric motion continuously through different levels of our atmosphere. Automated weather stations provide continuous monitoring in remote locations where human observation would be impractical. Mobile weather platforms allow dedicated scientists to study storms and atmospheric phenomena up close and personal. Research aircraft penetrate storm systems bravely to collect invaluable data unavailable from ground-based or satellite observations. Weather balloons carry sophisticated instruments through the vertical atmosphere twice daily at hundreds of locations worldwide. Citizen scientists contribute tremendously valuable weather observations through volunteer networks and social media platforms. Storm spotters provide crucial ground truth about severe weather conditions that help warn communities of immediate threats. Weather photographers document atmospheric phenomena beautifully, enhancing both public understanding and scientific analysis. Educational institutions train the next generation of meteorologists and atmospheric scientists who will continue advancing our understanding. Professional meteorologists interpret complex data skillfully and communicate weather information clearly to diverse audiences. Broadcasting meteorologists bridge the important gap between scientific understanding and public awareness effectively. Emergency managers coordinate weather information carefully with response planning and critical public safety decisions. Government agencies provide official weather warnings and advisories designed to protect lives and property. Private weather companies offer specialized forecasting services for specific industries and unique applications. Agricultural meteorologists help farmers optimize planting, harvesting, and resource management decisions based on weather patterns. Aviation meteorologists ensure flight safety through detailed weather analysis and specialized forecasting services. Marine meteorologists support shipping and offshore activities with specialized ocean and coastal weather forecasting. Energy meteorologists help utility companies anticipate demand fluctuations and optimize renewable energy production. Transportation meteorologists assist highway, rail, and shipping operations with comprehensive weather-related planning services. Insurance meteorologists carefully analyze weather risks and help companies assess potential losses from natural disasters. Legal meteorologists provide expert testimony in weather-related court cases and complex insurance claims. Consulting meteorologists offer specialized services for construction projects, special events, and outdoor activities. Research meteorologists advance scientific understanding continuously through field studies and theoretical investigations. Climate scientists study long-term weather patterns and their complex interactions with global environmental systems. Atmospheric physicists explore the fundamental processes governing weather and climate behavior. Computer scientists develop and improve the numerical models that enable modern weather prediction capabilities. Engineers design and build the sophisticated instruments and systems that observe and monitor atmospheric conditions. Mathematicians develop the complex equations and algorithms that accurately describe atmospheric behavior. Statisticians help quantify uncertainty and improve the overall reliability of weather forecasts. Science communicators ensure that complex weather information reaches and genuinely benefits the general public. This collaborative approach to weather science and service demonstrates humanity's collective effort to understand and adapt to atmospheric behavior. The interdisciplinary nature of modern meteorology showcases how different fields of knowledge contribute meaningfully to weather understanding. International cooperation in weather observation and prediction benefits all nations through shared knowledge and resources. Technological advancement continues improving our ability to observe, understand, and predict atmospheric phenomena. Artificial intelligence and machine learning enhance pattern recognition and prediction capabilities significantly in modern meteorology. Big data analytics help extract meaningful insights from the vast amounts of weather information collected continuously. Here's what I promised to share with you at exactly 15 minutes. Beautiful wisdom from Scripture about seasons and God's perfect timing. Throughout history, wise cultures have understood that nature operates in cycles of change that require both patience and careful preparation. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us so beautifully that to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. This week's dramatic weather changes exemplify perfectly how nature follows divine timing that often surprises us with its complexity and beauty. The rapid transition from winter cold to record warmth demonstrates how quickly seasons can shift when atmospheric conditions align properly. Jesus spoke about reading the signs of the times in Matthew 16:2-3, noting how people could discern weather but missed deeper spiritual truths. Our ability to predict weather has grown tremendously, yet we're still humbled by nature's capacity to surprise us with remarkable patterns. Proverbs 27:1 teaches us wisely not to boast about tomorrow, for we do not know what a day may bring forth. This ancient wisdom applies perfectly to weather forecasting, where uncertainty always accompanies our very best scientific effort. The ant in Proverbs 6:6-8 prepares diligently for winter during summer, demonstrating the wisdom of preparation during favorable times. Similarly, we can use warm January days to prepare wisely for the winter weather that will inevitably return later this season. Noah's faithfulness in preparing for unprecedented weather teaches us to take atmospheric warnings seriously and prepare accordingly. The rainbow after the flood represents God's covenant with creation, including the natural laws that govern weather patterns. Job 37:9-11 describes beautifully how God uses weather phenomena to accomplish His purposes, from bringing moisture to clearing the skies. This passage reminds us that weather serves purposes beyond human understanding, yet we can study and appreciate its incredible complexity. Psalm 147, verses 16-18, celebrates God's sovereignty over weather, describing snow like wool and frost like ashes. The psalmist marvels at divine power over cold winds, and then shows how quickly ice melts when warmth returns. This week's weather pattern perfectly illustrates this biblical truth about rapid weather changes occurring at exactly the proper time. 1 Kings 18:41-45 shows Elijah's remarkable sensitivity to atmospheric signs, detecting approaching rain when skies appeared completely clear. Modern meteorology has enhanced our ability to detect approaching weather changes far in advance of their actual arrival. Luke 12:54-56 describes Jesus' teaching about weather signs that people readily understood and used in their daily lives. Today's sophisticated weather monitoring would absolutely amaze ancient peoples, yet demonstrates the same natural laws they observed. Genesis 8:22 promises that seasons will continue as long as earth remains,
assuring us of weather's predictable yet variable nature.
This covenant provides great comfort that while individual weather events may surprise us, seasonal patterns will persist faithfully. Deuteronomy 11:14 speaks of rain in its season, both early and late rains that sustain agricultural cycles.
Modern agriculture still depends heavily on seasonal weather patterns, though technology helps manage variations more effectively.
Isaiah 55:10-11 compares God's word to rain and snow that accomplish their intended purposes before returning skyward. This passage illustrates beautifully how water cycles through atmosphere and earth, serving essential functions in sustaining life. Jeremiah 5:24 acknowledges God as the source of seasonal rains that arrive faithfully at their appointed times. Weather's general predictability allows societies to plan agricultural and social activities around expected seasonal patterns. Joel 2:23 encourages rejoicing in rain that comes at the proper time, recognizing weather's crucial role in providing sustenance. Appropriate weather timing supports human civilization by enabling agriculture, transportation, and countless economic activities. Acts 14:17 notes that God provides evidence of His goodness through weather that brings food and fills hearts with gladness. Weather's role in supporting life demonstrates divine care for creation through natural processes. Matthew 5:45 describes how rain falls on both just and unjust, illustrating God's general provision for all humanity. Weather affects everyone regardless of personal circumstances, creating shared experiences that unite communities. James 5:7-8 encourages patience, like farmers who wait for precious fruit through early and latter rains. This agricultural metaphor teaches us to wait patiently for natural processes while maintaining hope and preparation. Weather patterns require both short-term responsiveness and long-term patience as seasonal cycles complete their courses. The wisdom tradition teaches balance between accepting what we cannot control while preparing for what we can anticipate. Modern weather forecasting enables better preparation while reminding us of our dependence on forces beyond human control. Gratitude for favorable weather and patience during challenging conditions reflect appropriate responses to atmospheric variations. Community cooperation during weather events demonstrates love of neighbor and mutual support during natural challenges. Weather awareness promotes both scientific understanding and spiritual appreciation for creation's complexity and beauty. The integration of meteorological knowledge with wisdom traditions enriches our understanding of humanity's relationship with nature. Responsible stewardship includes using weather knowledge to protect communities and minimize suffering from atmospheric hazards. Education about weather patterns helps people make informed decisions while maintaining appropriate reverence for natural forces. This week's remarkable weather serves as a gentle reminder of our place within larger natural systems that operate according to divine design. As we experience record warmth followed by returning winter conditions, we witness the eternal cycle of seasons in accelerated form. The temporary nature of extreme weather events teaches us to appreciate both favorable conditions and endure challenging ones. Weather's constant change reminds us that stability comes not from external conditions, but from inner preparation and faith. As we conclude this wonderful journey through this week's weather pattern, let's appreciate the opportunity to witness nature's incredible complexity in action. From severe weather in the southeast to record warmth in the Ohio Valley, from ice threats in the Midwest to storm systems along the West Coast, we're seeing the full spectrum of atmospheric behavior. This pattern demonstrates beautifully how individual weather events connect through atmospheric physics to create larger, more complex systems. The rapid changes we're experiencing showcase nature's remarkable ability to transition between different states with incredible efficiency. Thank you so much for joining me on this comprehensive exploration of one of winter's most fascinating weather patterns. Stay weather aware as these systems develop, and may this forecast help you prepare for and appreciate the remarkable atmospheric events ahead. Until next time, my dear friends, remember that every weather pattern teaches us something new about the beautiful complexity of our atmospheric home.